So allow yourself to lean back knowing that you showed up for your part. It might not have been, playing out the way you would have wanted, but know that there is a greater plan, even bigger than the one your mind or my mind can comprehend. Allowing the universe to be part of the creation and the flow of life. Welcome to The Rise Show, a podcast for highly driven and spiritual women with big ideas, dreams, and visions. Audacious women just like you, who are committed to their evolution and obsessed about all things personal growth, spirituality, manifestation, and feminine embodiment. I'm your host, Nathalie Banaszak, feminine success and branding coach, and I'm here to support you on your journey and path of expansion. I know you're ready for so much more. Permission granted to go for greatness, your wildest desires, and the most radiant and full expression of the brand called you. Are you ready? Let's begin. What do we do when we face challenges, setbacks? How do we handle and deal with disappointment, crises, obstacles, and the rock bottoms? Being on a path of personal growth and being a conscious woman with big dreams who are going for the big dreams as well does not mean that we do not go through fear, that shit doesn't happen, and that we don't experience what would be considered as massive failure. I say failure in a quote unquote. So the opposite then, when we say that I am ready for a huge up level, I am ready for a mega improvement, you can be assured that you will meet obstacles, shedding along the way that needs to be there. And this is about becoming the woman you need to be to do the things you want to do and live out your vision, your grandest vision in the life you desire, your higher purpose. Now, this is the journey and path of growth and evolution. It's not even another way to consider it. It is a part of life and living. And when we dare to embrace the challenges as a natural way of life, we will be able to handle them way better. I also want to highlight the topic of today because it's so easy that we just see the results, the success. And even though we might understand that, oh, she probably have gone through some stuff to be there, we don't really see that. Because even if we would share it, there is so much that goes into a woman's story. And every single woman has a story to share. That I know for sure. So I want to use today's episode to reframe our relationship with failure once and for all, and to create a new relationship with our exact plans of how we think it should be, and to train our minds to become more resilient so that we truly can be empowered women who feel safe at the core of our beings, even when we are going through the rock bottoms. So it's about not resenting them to be there, and not to be, hey, I'm looking to attract these scenarios happening in my life, but to just have a neutral relationship, knowing how to navigate and how to hold yourself through the disappointments and setbacks and delays and all the things. So that was my introduction of today's topic. And also, how about let's just all try this philosophy on. This is a philosophy that's been life-changing for me. And I know it is for the clients I work with as well. Perhaps you already experienced it. What I do know for sure as well, that this is a philosophy that needs practice pretty much forever. So, life happens for me, not to me. So this is a complete game changer. We are not victims. We choose beliefs. We choose how we want to experience what happens to us and what not. That is the privilege of a lifetime, controlling our thoughts in a very positive way. So if we say that we want mega improvement, a huge up level, let's face it, if we're saying we are going for something else, we will experience failures. I can't remember who said it, but basically to welcome the failures, because when we start to view them as major lessons, this is like the classroom and the university of life. It's about the meaning we give to what happens to us that decides what our experience is going to be, no matter if the thing that happens to us is small or and big. Ultimately, this whole episode is essentially about learning to cultivating trust and unwavering faith in the universe. So I believe it is about moving through the world, knowing that you are a part of a higher and infinite intelligence, the universe, and that you are oh so held, oh so supported, and oh so loved by nature. So another philosophy that's been a game changer for me as well, and I share everything that's been transformational for me, well, with you here. And I did not say it. Whoever said it as a major point. Rejection is protection. Try it on. Rejection is protection. So this is a saying that suggests that whenever we are being, turned down or we are being, excluded from something, that is actually a good thing. It is protecting us from a potential harm and leading us towards something that's so much better, so much more magical, and so much more in line to what we truly want. It also implies that, rejection can be a form of like a course correction. It's guiding us away from what isn't meant for you. And it's moving us in the direction toward what is. So in essence, the whole phrase encourages us to shift in perspective from viewing rejection as, a personal setback, or to seeing it as a potential opportunity for change and growth. So we don't take it as an opportunity to go into, victimhood and poor me is not fair. And it's not about running from those emotions, because they can be valid as well, depending on what's happening. It's just about deciding not to dwell and stay in those emotions forever, longer than you need to. I want to share 5 different perspectives on how to view this whole philosophy. Rejection is protection. Depending on where you're at right now, this might just shift your experience of something that's just happened to you, that you are having, a hard time accepting or embracing or whatever it could be. So, okay, first one. Let's say the universe is protecting you. It's helping you to avoid what could have been a bad fit, whether it's a situation, relationships, or opportunities that wouldn't be good for you in the long run. Maybe it's about saving you from a toxic relationship, whether it's, a romantic relationship or a professional one. Maybe it's about, protecting you from a job that never, or a gig or something, a project that doesn't really align with your values or your grandest vision. So try that on. Hey, maybe it's about avoiding a bad fit. So 2. How about rejection can be about finding something better? It can serve as a catalyst for finding something that's way more suitable and aligned with your vision. You see, we are on the same theme here. So it opens you up to new possibilities. It can encourage you to pursue different avenues and paths that otherwise you probably otherwise would not even have been exploring. 3, this is a big one. It is so much about building resilience. And you hear me speak about feminine embodiment all the time. How can we step into embodiment if we're not willing to experience all the emotions? Not just the fantastic ones that we love, the successes, but also to be able to sit with the stuff that we kind of maybe even would want to run away from. So it's about facing rejection and learning to cope with it, learning how to navigate yourself through the experience of experiencing it. It will definitely make you more resilient, and it will also make you adaptable right now and for future challenges that will come. So for shifting perspective, the whole idea of this rejection is protection. It is about encouraging a way more positive outlook on, the whole concept of rejecting, viewing it more as a necessary step on the path of personal growth and development rather than make it about a personal failure. Oh no, it's always a story that's tied to the rejection. Maybe and sometimes it's very trivial, when we start to really observe our minds and the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves, they can be quite amusing. So to not take ourselves too serious, that's also a very good perspective to bring in. What is my mind trying to tell me here? What am I making this rejection even mean? So play with this. And to just summarize basically every single perspective that I've shared with you, it is so much about learning and growth. Whoever is your lesson, the rejection, whoever in whatever form you are experiencing the rejection, it can be, if you choose to, it can be a super valuable learning experience, and it can lead you to taking it as an opportunity to, I want to revisit my goals, my choices, my actions, which ultimately leads you further on the path of growth and, self-improvement in a very positive context. So, however, before we go to, how we solve it, I also want to emphasize this from, this is why emotional awareness matters and why I consider and say that self-master is a must-have for any woman who wants to lead an empowered life. Because how do we then handle disappointment when it does happen, So this is not about just skipping the part of experiencing, whether it's sadness or disappointment or whatever. This is, and this I will repeat myself saying forever, because this needs to be completely programmed in our subconscious. Please allow yourself to feel all the feelings. For a conscious woman, I'm speaking from my personal experience, and I also share it professionally from working in the coaching industry for more than a decade. I see this. We do this. We are way too hard on ourselves. When we do become emotional aware, then we have the second challenge. We don't like what we find. For example, let's say you are embarking on a path of really building emotional awareness, and you recognize that, I spend a lot of time shame and guilt. This happened to me when I really embarked on a journey of building emotional awareness. It was difficult. You know what else? It was the biggest transformational shift in my personal life and in my professional life. I started to show up in a complete different way, and I started to coach in a whole other different way. Because we tend to stop with a theory. This is not going to create the conscious transformation. We need to learn to rewire our nervous system. And this is where our emotions are stored. And these are the patterns we hold within ourselves. So imagine if you can relate. And I've seen this happen over and over and over again. So it's like the same, but different story that goes on. And if you can relate, please listen extra carefully. So let's say you are committed to really get to know your emotional body better, and you are here to master your emotions in a very positive context. And you say that you want to allow yourself to feel all the feelings. So you go on this path, and then you experience, I hold stories of shame and guilt in my body. That does not feel good. It can be like a double experience where we not only experience the pattern as a witness, we experience guilt from having that experience, specifically for women in the coaching industry, who are professionally working with this, making it mean something such as, oh goodness, if I'm still holding these patterns within my being, how then can, I serve my clients or whatever? Let me just repeat in bold capital letters. The reason you are willing to be the woman who allow ourselves to go there, that's the reason why you can hold space to others to empower themselves on that journey. It's crucial. No one gains embodied professional experience. And, well, this is my own personal reflection on this topic. We become masterful in different areas depending on how willing, on a scale of 1 to 10, we are to show up for whatever it is that we get to witness as we are on this journey. This is the whole journey. This is the whole point. So, again, big highlighting this part of this episode. Allow yourself to feel all the feelings. So whatever you are finding, okay, be the witness, sit with it, and stay extra conscious to explore what you are making it mean, because that's another story on top of the other story. You see where I'm going? So depending on the situation, decide how long you're going to stay there. So for example, let's say you are facing something really difficult. Maybe you're going through a breakup, for example. And this is something personal that of course will impact your professional life as well. Maybe you are dealing with financial setback. Maybe you planned a big launch and it did not, happen the way you wanted to. Maybe you have invested so much into something and then it just does not happen the way you would have wanted or needed it to happen, on your timeline. So there is a time and space to feel the feelings, but do not become the victim because that does not serve you. It's about allowing yourself to feel the feelings and knowing when it's time to move on and knowing how to navigate and hold yourself as you're experiencing whatever it is that's a challenge for you. So in this context, let's speak about spiritual faith. So when we are going through these setbacks, how do we manage to keep unwavering faith and trust in the universe no matter what? As in, instead, believing everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Of course, again, it depends on what kind of challenge you're going through. So again, depending on what's happening, sometimes we go through crises that's just way too big, that just requires us to pause. So again, I am really highlighting this to not go into a story of moving too quickly through healing if you need to go deeper on your healing path and journey in order to actually go to that next level. So it all depends on your story, where you're at and, the situation. But it's about making life your practice. And I'm speaking about normal, setbacks and challenges, things that happen through life and how we handle with them, with those experiences. What I mean then is that when you learn how to handle the small and daily disappointments and annoyments, you will be so much better prepared to handle the big setbacks because you've already been in practice. I mean, it can be silly examples, when things doesn't happen the way we plan to. Specifically speaking to the control freaks here, or perhaps healing control freaks. I'm laughing, so you can imagine I'm speaking about myself here as well. And also knowing that we can heal that pattern as well. Anyways, let's just say this happened yesterday. Or was it 2 days ago? Anyways, I'm an early riser. I'm a 5 a.m. person. I have my thriving mornings. And I had this morning when I was like, I was so tempted to stay in bed. And I was going to the gym. And the gym opened 6 a.m. So I was like, nope. Going to my vision always. And my vision always makes me take empowered and aligned choices, which means I show up for the feeling I want to experience. And I know how epic I feel when I have my early gym sessions. Anyway, so I go there and it's a beautiful morning. I'm here in Bali. The sunset is just gorgeous. But I come to the gym and it's freaking closed. It's closed. It was so interesting to observe myself. I was basically going like, Bob, that, like, no. A couple of seconds, I caught myself and I kind of laughed. Okay, well, am I going to make this a big thing? Am I going to let this destroy my morning? Like, I don't know what happened. The gym was supposed to be open, but I mean, we're in Bali, so could be that it was like some kind of ceremony or something going on. I even looked it up online. But no major public holiday, so no idea what happened. But instead of just making it, oh, this is like so unprofessional, like how can they not be here? Because my gym is amazing. I know that there are great people. So I was just like, okay, cool, this is probably happening for me. Amazing. How can I make this a very pleasant experience? You know what? That means I get to have a beautiful sunrise walk. And after 1 hour, I can come back and see if they opened. And they did. So I actually got a beautiful, fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous power morning walk on top of my gym exercise. And as I was walking, I got some major, fantastic, epic ideas for a project that I'm working on that you will get to learn more about in just a bit. And that was a gift, you know? So I'm giving you quite a small and ridiculous example. But you see how easy it is to make small things that happens for us instead of just like, oh, can't believe that this is happening. Even a super silly small thing I just share with you. And obviously it takes way bigger practice when it's something big and major. But just giving you an idea of how we can intentionally practice this mindset. So start with the small things, and then it will be so much easier to apply that to the big things that's happening. And super, super, super important. Remember that you are the source of your happiness. This is something that we do. We put our power and happiness into other people's situations and so on. Oh, if I get that reply on that email, everything will be fantastic. When I have that amount in my bank accounts, oh my God, then I will totally go for my dream. Wow, if I get that promotion, oh my God, like my life will completely transform. Wow, when I meet my soulmate, then I'm going to be da-da-da. You know, you fill in the gap. You know? So this is about taking back your power over and over and over and over again. Because if we are giving away our power to a situation when things happen, that means that we're giving away our power. So remember, you are the source. It's a very powerful mantra. I am the source. I am the source. You can repeat this. So this is about surrendering to the flow of life. We are speaking about femininity. So surrender is a spiritual practice that's massively empowering. It's not about giving up. It's so much more about handing it over to God. Now, I say God, if that doesn't resonate with you, you put in, the universe, nature, higher power, or whatever, whatever you feel resonates with your beliefs and faith. So surrender is a spiritual, very feminine practice that will empower you from the inside out because it's about letting go, about your idea of how things should be. So you see why this is a major one, and trusting deeper. Because trusting yourself is the same thing as saying that you trust God, the universe. Use your language here. So then we're going back to the control freak. That's probably living somewhere within you. And if not, big congratulations. Most of us needs to heal the control freak within us. And I'm saying this with so much love, as you can hear in my voice probably. It's all about letting go of control of our fixed idea of how it was supposed to happen. So notice that when I speak about visionarying, I say be specific, go into the details, da-da-da. And that is because we want to create that emotional vibration of how you feel when you are in your perfect vision. But it's also about letting go of the how and also the when. So having goals and a timeline, and expecting miracles and fantastic things to happen, that is a way to live and lead life that I encourage, and I live by it myself. It's also, at the same time, about allowing the intelligence of the universe and divine timing to take over the steering wheel and allow yourself to basically just stand there in awe and watch how things magical will fall in place without you trying so hard to be the source of power, making it all happen. And, when it did not happen the way you wanted to, just making it, no, this was not for me. Okay, I'm just going to surrender, No, because remember in manifestation, sure, you have power. So does the universe, but it's also about involving other people that are involved in having your good come to you. So it's very much about cultivating divine patience, which is a practice of its own. So going back to finding this beautiful power of the balance between the masculine and feminine aspects of manifestation. We show up for the actions, that's the doing. And then we have the feminine practice of being more. And this takes dedicated work. We're speaking about devotion, of not only doing the work, this is what I mean when I say be the work and watch your life transform. Day by day, shift by shift, things will happen. I'm generalizing here, but I'm doing it for a good reason. We have been so conditioned to be over masculine. So our biggest challenge, and I'm saying it here on this channel as this is a podcast for, highly driven, purpose-driven women who have no problem with being ambitious. That's not the case. I never have to, work on motivation to get my clients to show up for the work, when it comes to actions. It's about going deeper and integrating the emotional aspects of the work. That's a being part, allowing ourselves to receive, allowing ourselves to rest, allowing ourselves to experience the emotional state of deep relaxation. This takes work, believe it or not. So for you who are new here, and for everyone who perhaps you don't know, I've been a student of A Course in Miracles for years. It's been one of these teaching spiritual philosophies and scriptures that's been completely transformational in my own work. And I adopt the philosophy in all my teaching. It's my programs, my coaching. Well, basically the way I live and lead my life. So there is a verse from A Course in Miracles. It's not these exact words, but the essence is the same. So it's about trust. And it says, there is not a single thing that trust will not solve. Meaning, if you're feeling stress in your body, it's a sure sign that you have been relying too much on your own strength only. So this is me reminding you, if you can relate, I go here myself. If I feel any sense of, stress, tension or something, it's like, wait a second, where have I been pushing a little bit too hard? Where can I relax a little bit more? Know that, if you identify yourself as an ambitious woman, you show up, also allow yourself to lean back knowing that you showed up for your part. It might not have been, playing out the way you would have wanted, but know that there is a greater plan, even bigger than the one your mind or my mind can comprehend. So allowing the universe to be part of the creation and the flow of life. And I even give this as an exercise to clients. I'm giving it to you now. If and when you're experiencing doubt or whatever it could be, take yourself out into the nature and just be a humble observer of nature. Allow yourself the gift of zooming out. For example, I do this here when I'm in Bali. I live very close to the ocean. So I have like a 3-minute scooter ride and then I'm at this gorgeous, epic, never-ending beach, which is such a gift. So for me to just take a break and go there barefoot, immediately my whole being just relaxes. And we want to experience ease. So, it doesn't mean that you need to go to the ocean. Maybe you have a lake or a park or a garden or whatever it is, you know what I mean? The woods, nature. Nature holds power. It reminds us of the epic bigness of the universe. So I stand there on the beach watching the massive waves. Remember that Bali is a surf paradise. It's just so powerful. And I'm not making my small in the sense that I'm downsizing my own abilities and dreams, but it's just, when we make something so big that's going on in our world, but when we zoom out, it's just like, you know what? Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. And another lesson here, I'm taking the ocean as an analogy. I look at the massive, beautiful waves and how gracefully the waves are just coming naturally with such power into shore. And I ask myself if there's something I'm experiencing when I'm, allowing myself to let go. Okay, Will I try to push and swim against that force? Or will I just, breathe in, breathe out and catch the wave and allow life to unfold and take me where I need to go next? This is so powerful. We have so much to learn by just observing nature. Nature is a fantastic teacher and also reminds us of the abundance that's available for all of us. So try it on if you have not already, go out in nature, zoom out, and make whatever problem you might have seem smaller, put it into perspective. And again, depending what it is that you're going through, going back to allowing ourselves to feel all the emotions. So we are wrapping up this episode, and depending on your spiritual practice, I encourage all my clients and you, if it resonates, to pray. Ask for help. Ask for guidance if it feels too much to carry yourself. Of course, reach out to your family or loved ones, your spouse, your sisters, whoever you trust that can hold space for you, and allow yourself the gift to receive support. And also on a spiritual level, pray. Ask for help. Spend more time in meditation, allow guidance to come to you. Dear God, thank you for everything. I know you love and support me deeply. Right now, I feel lost and I recognize I'm in fear. Please lead me from darkness to light. Take me from illusion to love. Please do for me what I cannot do for myself. I'm handing over all this to you because I trust you. Please take over the steering wheel. I'm here. Use my gifts, skills, talents for the highest good of all. Show me what would make me the happiest. Show me how my dreams and desires are possible now, and what actions to take that's aligned and right for me. And from A Course in Miracles, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? And what would you have me say and to whom? Show me what you got and tell me what I need to know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm just speaking directly from my heart. This is what my praying, could look like, something like that. And when I really started to deepening my meditation practice and to deepening my relationship with spirit, I cannot even begin to tell how impactful it has been for me, how I live, how I lead, how I show up, how I coach my clients. I'm not even willing to do something if it's not spiritually led. Of course, things will happen, but I always go back to source. So depending on you, where you're at in your relationship with source, power, God, whatever you want to say it, take it or leave it, make it yours. I am not sharing anything that you need to adapt if you do not feel that it resonates. So just take whatever lights you up and make it yours. My encouragement and invitation is to spend more time with spirit. Make it a priority to connect within and pray. And also, don't make your prayer, don't make it too ambitious. It doesn't need to be a scripture. You can't get it wrong. You just make sure that you have a clear and pure intention. And that's basically all you need to know. Just have the conversation as if you would have been speaking with your best friend. That's what I would recommend you to do. We're going to wrap this up now. I want you to take this with you. And in what ways can you see that previous setbacks, challenges, delays, and even rock bottoms in your life have been protecting you from something that would not have been good for you in the long term? So this is not about dwelling in the past. It's about perhaps rewriting your story about previous quote-unquote failures and creating them into empowering stories and see the blessings and lessons in them. And how rejection perhaps has been leading you into something that's more right and beneficial and aligned for you. So spend time in reflection, contemplation, journal, discuss with a friend, share perspectives. And on top of that, here's the invitation. Train your mind to look for the blessings in disguise in everything you've been going through, as it is your story that has shaped you into who you are, the brand called you. Go back to past experiences. Adopt this philosophy to your life. Remember, life is happening for me. Always, always, always. So we never know what that canceled meeting or, that canceled flight or, that rejection can lead us to in the long term. So make trust your practice and see what comes to you. Okay, this is a forever conversation as it is a forever practice. This is a very, very big topic. We will definitely revisit it. For now, as always, I always love to, read your comments and hear your takeaways and share, because sharing what's living within you, it also creates another layer of transformation as you're experiencing what's coming to you. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up today's. Thank you so much for being here with me and to allowing yourself to be a woman committed to being the work. That's it for today. If you loved this podcast, please go ahead and subscribe. That way you get updates anytime I post a new episode. And if you're feeling extra generous, go ahead and share this with a sister you know needs to hear this message and leave a review. It would mean so much, as I love to envision a world with more feminine, embodied leaders. If you're looking to further grow, evolve, and expand your life and business, connect with me on Instagram and sign up for my Rise newsletter. Get ready to receive special announcements, inspiration, high vibe self-empowerment, tips, hacks, and tools on how to become the woman you most want to be right into your inbox. Link in the show notes. Until next time, have a gorgeous week.